Hi everyone, and welcome to our special careers event for MIMA School of Art and Design at Teesside University. I'm Professor Sarah Perks. I'm a curator, which means I put together exhibitions and projects, but I specialize in people as opposed to things. And I'm also head of art and design here. Just want to say a big thank you for joining us today. And giving us the opportunity to talk to you about MIMA School of Art and Design. Our school shares its name with MIMA, which is the art gallery and museum in Middlesbrough. That's the heart of our school, and I hope you've had the chance to visit or you will do soon. MIMA School of Art and Design might be a new name, but we are Teesside University, and also we've been teaching design for 50 years. I know I don't look old enough. Also in the Sunday Times, that big newspaper, MIMA School of Art and Design was rated this year as 8th in the UK for graduate outcomes. That's 8th in the whole of the UK. Apart from 8 being my lucky number, I think it means that we have a super amazing track record of our graduates getting jobs. So today we're going to introduce you to some of the subjects that you can come and study with us and a chance to meet some of our amazing team here. Before we run through these exciting subjects, just want to tell you a little bit about the creative industries. So the creative industries is a huge term and it encompasses lots and lots of different jobs in the sector. You could be anything from a pop star to a publisher. And what's important to note is that this industry is growing. It's really important financially to the UK economy, and it's also really important for well-being, for innovation, for all of us to live our best lives, basically. So the creative industries is worth around 92 billion to the UK and it employs over 3 million people. Between 2016 and 19, the jobs in the sector in the northeast of England grew by 30%. And in terms of future-proofing, it's unlikely that all of these will be replaced by robots. Robots are great for certain things, but they can't really create, design, and make art like people. Okay, so let's get on with telling you a bit more about these subjects and introducing some of my amazing colleagues. Charlie Tait, who's going to tell you about graphic design.
Hi, yeah, thanks, Sarah. I'm Charlie Tait. I'm senior lecturer, graphic design and illustration, graphic design with marketing, and also MA course leader. So graphic design and illustration gives you a broad skill set that opens up kind of a huge range of career pathways, as you're going to sort of see, I think, through this quick peek at the sort of student examples and profiles that we kind of show you. I think visual communication is increasingly relevant in today's world. It's a global language and it's a connected language. And so the opportunities are quite immense. From things like brand systems, so integrated kind of visual brand systems, through to a set of postage stamps, from an interactive kind of digital interface through to all sorts of manner of printed matter. Graphic design, visual communication is all around us, and all this stuff is made, and somebody's got to make it, and that could be you. So let's just look at some of our graduate careers now. So people who've gone out to industry from the course. So industry is ideas led, it's collaborative, and it's integrated. Very often you're working in small teams alongside people with diverse skills, maybe developers, maybe account managers, maybe copywriters. So the skills of visual communication slot into many different teams across a whole range of industries. So if we move on, please. We can see Jen Cruster here. So she's a student that came to us from A-level. She now works at a company called Publicis Sapient, who are a global kind of communications agency, particularly focusing on sort of digital futures. So they work with clients to create digital products, digital services, and digital communications. Off the top of the head, one of their major clients is kind of M&S. They work with a major kind of banks. And she works collaboratively in this sort of environment, as you can see on screen, working and advising on the visual communication and putting those skill set into that team there. Ben Eli, he's a designer, again, came to us from A-level. He was really interested in kind of graphic design and fashion, and so when he graduated, we were really excited to hear for him that he'd kind of got a job at Depop, which is a second-hand kind of fashion-orientated marketplace. You may have heard of it. And he works there again using his skills of kind of visual communication, narrative storytelling, in order to completely keep invigorating their kind of platform and looking at how it works and feeding into with working with developers, etc. there. Martin Cruster, he's a really interesting example of a student that kind of came to us interested in illustration. As during his time on the course, he became really interested in kind of motion graphics and looking at how graphic design can move. And he started to create a style of kind of illustrative motion graphics. Worked in LA as a freelance illustrator and motion graphics content creator. I think that kind of grounding in the core skills of narrative, storytelling, and kind of sequential design put him in really good stead for his move to Twitter, where he now works as a user interface, user experience designer, and he sort of lives out in North Carolina. And again, as a common story, he's kind of integrating and feeding into a team of multi-skilled people. If we can move on, Jade. Thank you. A little bit closer to home then, we've got Fiona Plews, who she worked as an illustrator through the course, exploring sort of visual communication from that aspect. And now she works, she basically owns her own business. She's turned her illustrations into an entrepreneurial kind of activity, and she runs her business illustrating, but also she has to manage and develop all the skills of business, transferable skills of presentation and marketing, as she basically makes manufacturers, deals with manufacturers and sells her a kind of a range of giftware that feature her illustrations. If we can move on to Rob Bedford. Again, another student that has kind of taken a more entrepreneurial route following the degree here. He now runs A Bonehead's Home, which is his company. He's kind of set it up, working with small to medium enterprises. And he does everything from kind of working with fast food businesses through to doing a lot of music videos and kind of digital album artwork for bands who are pushing music into the digital space. And again, Rob's an example of somebody who's not only developed those creative visual skills on the course, but has adapted, learned transferable skills, and uses his skills of marketing and also business knowledge to kind of establish himself as an entrepreneurial graduate. From a more specifically kind of illustration focus, we have graduates working across a range of publishers. So Helen Hurry works at Penguin Books. Robin Makings, she works with Noisy Crow, and prior to that she worked at Hallmark, who are obviously a large international kind of greetings company. I'm sure we all know kind of Hallmark cards. And so there's opportunities for illustrators in the publishing industries, but also inside working in-house in businesses, but also as kind of Robin works now as an agency, creating illustrations for a whole range of purposes and clients. We also have students that set up, I guess, around a process. An example would be Joe Mcdonnell. Some of his work's on screen now. And he's very much interested in printmaking. So he's established himself as a printmaker. He creates prints and sells prints. He does print work for clients, and he also runs classes and educates people in how to work with printmaking. And Mark Longworth, well, you can see on screen we've got a typographic publication that Mark created when he was here. It won an International Society of Typographic Designers award, and Mark's transformed himself into a motion designer since leaving the course. And you can see some of his examples of his motion artwork on screen there. And he works in Bristol at Buff Motion. So as I said, visual communication, it's a global skill set. The language of visual is transferable. And just some of the international destinations of our alumni on screen there. So visual communication could be a passport. It can help you travel. And one thing we do on the course to try and get students used to working professionally from a very early stage is enter students into awards and competitions. We're just going to go through examples of award-winning work from students. So we've got everything from kind of advertising through to typography, through to creative kind of conscience work, working with kind of awareness around mental health for the last project there. Another factor that's really important is hearing and being networked. And so one thing that we aim to really do is bring in industry advice. So visiting speakers, people who are out there practicing, coming to the course and giving over their knowledge and their experience. And just the last thing to sort of leave you with is the idea that doing an education, doing a degree, it's about the network that you build up around you. And any of the disciplines you hear from today, it's really about how you use the degree not only for your creative skills but also to build a network. And one thing we're very keen on here at Teesside is bringing our alumni back into the course. And very often, jobs and careers are built by the people you know around you. And so make sure that you are not only looking at the degree from what you get out of it practically, but how you might also use those skills and build those networks. Thank you very much. Take care.